Oh, two people dead to that. Oh no, not like this. I'm so sad. We just have to be aware of the interrupts. Oh, we just had people leave the groups. Hey, Cookies here. In this series, I make a fresh level 60 tank and work my way up the Mythic Plus ladder without the help of previous achievements or links to my main's Raider.io history. So let's go see what pugging as a tank is like in Mythic Plus and see how far we can get. For the first few episodes, they will likely be edited to cut down on the slow burn that is getting started in lower keys, but as we continue to progress and push ourselves through harder content, I plan to not cut any footage and just record and upload all the gameplay and discussion that happens along the way. I'm gonna try to also, record and commentate over all of my processes, not just in-game playing, but also me doing the prep work for understanding the class, me, researching and doing things like that and figuring out what we should and shouldn't play. I could be totally wrong, so this shouldn't be a guide by any means or anything like that. I am the last person you should ask for Brewmaster advice. I've played a little bit of Brewmaster in the past as like an off-spec, but definitely not to this extent. So we're basically just going to be using various resources like the class Discord and sub-creation and Warcraft logs and all this kind of stuff to kind of determine how we want to play our Brewmaster. So the first major thing is picking a covenant. So I'm going to just go on here on sub-creation, and I'm just going to look at what the most played covenants are. And it looks like it's overwhelmingly Kyrian and Necrolord. And from my understanding, Kyrian is better for a majority of the dungeons because you get access to the File of Serenity, which lets you clear a lot of different debuffs and bleeds and things like that. And it also gives you the most defensive capabilities because of the legendary that you run and just the Covenant ability itself. I think when you press it, if it's similar to the Mistweaver version, it just gives you a big buff of mastery. And it resets the cooldown of your Keg Smash or something. I could be completely mistaken about that, but all I know is you get a big mastery buff, which is a really good tanking stat for Brewmaster. And then Necrolord would be probably more, from my understanding, it seems like it would be more damage oriented. Because you get Bountiful Brew and you get Bone Dust Brew, which is basically just going to increase your damage done to targets. And it's a lot less defensive, though you still get Fleshcraft, so it is good, but it's nowhere near the defensive capabilities of Kyrian. So honestly, it's a little bit tricky, but I think in order to start, I'm pretty sure we're going to start as Necrolord and then maybe work on Kyrian depending on the affix week and stuff. So, like, for instance, right now it is a... I can't even check what the affixes are. I think it's Inspiring, Quaking, or something like that this week. So we don't really have a need for Kyrian, like, as far as the file goes, because it's not, necrotic or anything like that. But I also do want to check. Let's just go... We're just going to go over to Icy Veins and just look at the Brewmaster guide over there. And I'm just going to see what they say about Covenants and Soulbinds. It looks like I actually looked at this from a while ago. I don't think it was 9.2 though. It was definitely 9.0 or 9.1 that I was looking at. Okay, so Covenants and Soulbinds, summary of best covenants, blah, blah, blah. We're going to scroll down here. Brewmaster Monk Conduit Breakdown, Endurance Conduits, Finesse Conduits. Choosing the best covenant for you. Kyrian, strongest in rating, a covenant hybrid choice for PvE and PvP. Is balanced in both defense and offense, but its damage component requires time to build up. Alright, Necrolord, equally best for rating, marginally strongest defensive covenant. Oh, okay, so I am mistaken about Necrolord and Kyrian, it appears. But still very powerful in offense. Scales with multiple targets, but can feel frantic to play. It also provides additional defensive cooldown and is the best covenant in Torghast. Night Fae has potential to be strong for damage in Mythic Plus and provides a large amount of off healing for a group. though it is the only Covenant whose ability is capped to hit up to 5 targets at a time and can quickly fall behind in larger target counts. Alright, so it looks like Night Fae has the potential to do the most damage, but it definitely seems like Necrolord is the play just for overall Mythic Plus, and then we would play, from my understanding, it seems like we would play Kyrian for again if we feel the need to have that file. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Necrolord, I think, to start.
Come forth and be judged.
Do we really have to go around and speak to all these guys? They're going to really make us do that? I guess so. I guess I'll pick my Covenant and then we will see. Okay, yeah, you do have to run around to all of these guys. Let's at least keybind our roll so we can roll around and do this.
Did you need something? We'll need
Night Fae definitely does seem the most entertaining to play. I'm like tempted to play it, but I also don't want to like waste my, because I have to level my renown, so I really don't want to pick the wrong Covenant just for fun and then have it be something where it's like I have to pick up the work later down the road because now I have to level the actually good Covenants. So we're just gonna do Necrolord for now, and then we'll go from there. So go with Necrolord.
Trust in the purpose.
And we'll skip all this stuff.
Consider your words until we speak again.
Go. All right. Over here.
Stand strong.
And if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to skip all of this like storyline stuff. I shouldn't have to do any of it because I have the main stuff. This is the one thing about the series that is going to be different from the Night Fae Holy Paladin. I am going to use I am going to use gold for my main character, and I'm also going to get like the renown 40 thing where I can freely get level 40 renown instantly. I'm definitely going to do all of that stuff just to bypass a lot of the early stuff. But the idea of the series is still going to be no ties to our mains, and we're kind of just going to start from, you know, scratch and work our way up. But we are going to have a tiny bit of a head start with the catch-up mechanics, because by now I would assume that most people who come into this patch and stuff like that are probably going to have access to some of these catch-up mechanics. And even if they don't, let's see where our legendary goes, actually, so that when I switch characters I can buy it. So I get this legendary here, Stormstout's Last Keg. And that is going to go on shoulder, waist, or hands. So I think we'll probably put it on hands is my idea, or shoulders. Why is my shoulder a cape? And then Bountiful Brew, the Unity legendary, can just go on anything, so we'll probably just put that on our belts. So we'll go ahead and pick up a belt and a hands legendary. And I'm probably just going to buy it at a very low eye level to start, and then we will go from there. Probably honestly just buy the legendaries at like 210 eye level or something for now, and then we'll kind of work our way up, because I really do not feel like farming Torghast or anything like that right now. Especially because I don't have gear. But I guess I think I can transfer Soul Ash and Soul Cinders over, so maybe it actually won't be a problem. Maybe I just buy a high level legendaries. But maybe for the sake of the video, we'll start out with low eye level legendaries so that it doesn't feel like a crutch or anything like that. But all right, we are just getting the bars all set up now. I don't remember where I'm gonna want these buttons, so it's probably gonna be something I might need to go on my Mistweaver Monk and look at where I put some of my key bindings. Some of this stuff I remember, but some of it I'm definitely going to forget. So we'll put all the buttons I know where to put. in different spots, and then we'll go from there. Res here, spinning crane kick goes on the same button as Mistweaver. Tiger Palm, I think, goes here. Death. Ascendance. Transfer. Vivify. We should do a mouse over macro for Vivify so that we can help heal other people. Where's my mouse over? Oh, it looks like it's messed up. For now, we will just not do... I need to do mouse overs, actually, like, no matter what, so just fix that real quick. Oh, here it is. I do have a mouse over. So we'll do... First one will be Vivify. And this will go right here. And then the next one will be... Tiger's Lust, which will take our talents right now. I think Chi Burst does the most damage for Brewmaster, so we're going to take that. Take Tiger's Lust. We're going to take... this is where I definitely am going to just reference the guide once again. So we're just going to go ahead and look at builds and talents. And then there should be like a Mythic Plus version here. So Chi Burst, Tiger's Lust, Light Brewing. So we take Light Brewing, we take Ring of Peace, we take Healing Elixir. Is Healing Elixir actually better? Is that really true? Seems incorrect from previous knowledge. Bob and Weave causes stagger, blah, blah, blah. Bob and Weave is a simple, effective passive option. However, the large number of Purifying Brew available in fight results in the talent often being inferior to its alternatives unless there is a source of constant heavy physical damage affecting you. This also increases our damage. So yeah, we're going to go with Bob and Weave because it's a passive. Don't have to worry about it. And it also, there's a brief explanation here that it does help with our DPS. So doing more damage is going to be one of our big priorities. And then obviously, I think Refreshing Jadewind would be the take. And then for the last row, High Tolerance, which is a passive. So a lot of this stuff, we're not worrying about other talent choices right now. It's literally just going to be take a cookie cutter build that is told to us. We're not going to read too much into it. We just want a basic understanding of what these abilities do. And outside of that, we're not too concerned. We're going to do more research and more learning later. For now, we need to just get into playing the game. That is what's going to help us improve the most right now, is just actually playing the game. I don't remember where I have Blackout Kick, so we'll just figure that out. Celestial Brew, I think, is like a mouse wheel up. Or actually, it was mouse wheel down. And then Clash, we'll put on like Shifty. Ox, Keg Smash. Yeah, okay, this is starting to line up now. Purifying Brew. Ring of Peace, already have that bound. Our Interrupt, our Tiger's Lust, which needs to have a mouse over attached to it. So we'll do a mouse over for Tiger's Lust, because that's going to be very important, especially in our lower keys. And then Zen Med, I don't remember where I have this one usually, so we'll put that, this is kind of tricky. Zen Med, where do you go? Where do you go? I will honestly put the Zen Med, just put it right there. Kind of an awkward spot, but that's okay. Then we also have our Arcane Torrent special, which will go here. And I think that's it. I think our bars are all set up. I am going to head over to the engineering trainer and just pick up level 1 engineering for now, so that we can use our Shadowlands wormhole generator and set our Hearthstone to our Covenant Hall when we get there. And then we can just use the wormhole generator to get to Oribos whenever we need. We're going to go over here. Engineering trainers right here.
You have my undivided attention.
Not going to worry about the B-reses right now. Might bite us in the ass a little bit when we start doing keys, but that's okay. All right, so now we are looking through to find out what enchants and stuff we need. So basically, the best way of doing this is by looking at Icy Veins or something like Subcreation. And we can just look at, there should be a section for gems, enchants, and consumables. And we can just go ahead and look at here. You'll ideally make use of the versatility gems. And then right here it says, okay, so currently we are using a two-handed weapon, so it looks like we would want to use Lightless Force. And then if you are dual wielding, you'd want Celestial Guidance and Sinful Revelation as a general metric. And then we would get these. So I'm basically just going to take this list and I'm just going to copy paste it and buy that stuff from the auction house. So we will look up you look up the Lightless Force for the weapon. And then we need fortified or cloak enchants. Where is cloak? I think here, honestly, for the cloak enchant, I'm just gonna get soul vitality, which is gonna give me more stamina than the fortified speed. So we'll just buy a handful of these. Just while I'm low eye level, it'll be more beneficial to have extra HP. And then we want eternal stats for the chest piece. Now there are variations in this, so if I pull up the subcreation page, you can actually see, like we can look at chest enchants. There's eternal stats, eternal bulwark, which is an armor increase, and a main stat increase. And then we also have eternal skirmish, which from my understanding makes you do extra single target damage. So we will go with eternal stats for now, just because it's the most widely used one. So we'll look up eternal stats. We'll buy like 4 of these. And then I think there's a boot enchant for agility, so we'll look up agility and go to feet. Eternal agility, we'll buy 4 of those. And then I think that is it, right? We'll open these for now and see if we need anything else. I guess I'll buy like a couple versatility gems for the gem slots that I have at the moment. So we'll go to gems and we'll just look up verse. And then we'll buy like, I don't know, we'll buy like 5 of these for as we get sockets and stuff. And we'll grab these as well. And I'll put the sockets in. And then I will put the enchants on. And there we go. We are looking great. 224 eye level. Now we just go to stop by the transmog so that we don't look too bad when we join groups. And then I think we're honestly gonna get rolling and grab a key. I'll either run like a Mythic 0 or something to grab my first key. Or I think we might even be able to grab a free key from the vault guy, but I guess we'll see. So I need to... We'll go by the transmog guy first, and then we'll go see if we can grab a key. And if we can't, then we'll just find a random Mythic 0 to run to pick up our first key, and then we'll just start running our own key pretty much from there.
I live to serve. More walk.
Like to transmog my gear. We need a set that doesn't make it too obvious that we're a super big alt, but also I do want to look cool, so we're going to check out a few different things. This looks pretty good. I wish I had more of the Brewmaster weapon transmogs from Legion because they look so great, honestly. Ooh, this looks pretty cool. I could dig this. I like this a lot. This is cool. Shiver Venom Lance is really cool as well. I like something simple like this too. This looks nice. Where is the flower crown? I need the flower crown immediately. Do I not have access to it or something on this character for some reason? That's odd. Oh, there it is. Okay, we found it. And then just come up with a Mog to use. No Leather has some really good Mogs, so I'm just gonna look through these until I find something cool to use. It was, which ones was it? There's ones with like these forearms to them, and they look really, really cool, honestly. I think it's these. We're gonna keep it really basic and just go with like a interesting transmog for now, before we spice it up too much, since we're gonna be equipping new gear all the time anyway, so this stuff's gonna get absolutely scuffed. So just do something like this. This looks cool enough for now. Alright, is our cool transmog. Now, I kind of forgot what I was going to do. Oh yeah, we're going to go see if we can claim a key from the vault guy. And then if we can't, we will just hop into a random key. Maybe I can even find a +2 I could sneak into, but it might just be better to
Tell me what you need, my friend.
acquire a reward from the Great Vault. That doesn't help me very much. Keystone Trader. He gives me a keystone. No way. Yes. We can literally just start with a key right off the bat. That's so good. That's actually so cool. So we got a +2 Necrotic Wake. So that is what we are running. Sounds good. Let's run it. +2 Necrotic Wake in the queue finder. We need to change our title as well. We definitely don't want Jenkins. That's not very fun. Sleepy Brew. Sleepy Brew the Patient. Alright, we're pretty much just going to take the first people that come, because for these first low-level keys, it's really not going to come down to, like, whether we take high-level players or not. It's kind of just, we're going to blow through these because of our eye level. So I think we'll just take, like, a first-come, first-serve thing as a general rule, even if people are low eye level. And then we'll kind of just work our way up from there. I think my main idea is we'll probably... I might not show like all like the length of the entire keys just to keep the episodes interesting. So it might be like I might cut around through these first like handful of keys just to kind of like highlight what's happening. Any like key moments that happen in the keys and whatnot. And then other than that, we're kind of trying to skip ahead to where like we start doing more challenging keys where like I'm actually having to test myself as a tank. Because I feel like at the moment this stuff's going to blow over really easily, but yeah, we'll just take pretty much the first people we get. and then we'll just make sure we have a lust. So if we need like specific things in the group, then that will be the case. I am going to actually switch to Kyrian right now because I don't know if we have any Kyrians in the group. So I'm gonna switch to Kyrian and get my renown up really fast and unlock my soulbinds for Kyrian. That way I can play Kyrian.
This cannot be.
Stay true
I
to
welcome
our
you.
eternal charge. We all serve a greater good.
Speak,
What troubles
mortal.
you? Wisdom guide your path.
And we'll level up our Covenant to 40.
The Arbiter sees all truths. Order shall be.
I actually don't have time to switch to Kyrian, so we're just going to go back Necrolord for this dungeon. It's a +2, so that's okay. And then we'll just do the Kyrian stuff later. Alright, here we go. The first key. Oh. What a start. Oh, man. Here we actually go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think the main goal for me is just kind of learning my key bindings and just getting a feel for the class for these first few keys. So we're not going to do anything too wild and crazy, but I am going to test my limits and try to pull like, you know, a little bit of extra mobs and stuff here and there just to kind of limit test to see how tanky or not tanky I am. And we just accidentally pulled a Gatekeeper. So that just happened. This is going to turn problematic very quickly if we don't run over there, but everything is not aggroed to me. So we're just going to kind of spinning crane kick here and clean everything up. And we'll run over here to this guy. Sorry, buddy, didn't mean to pull you. Kind of just pull all of this stuff. Use our Ox. We can ring a piece that guy in. Yeah, soldiers really far away, aggroed to people. Oh man, this is rough. I have Celestial Brew up, so the main thing is just not panicking when this stuff happens. Because if I panic, I'm going to turn my back to all these mobs and I'm going to die. So I just have to kind of let the Druid over here tank these soldiers. And not panic. And my goal should just be pressing my defensives and pulling things in where we can. And CCing when I can. So there I like use leg sweep, because it just helps control the mobs. And then as things kind of adjust, I can work my way over here and pick up these soldiers. Obviously in a hierarchy, we wouldn't have gotten away with that kind of stuff. But it's still the same mindset where sometimes you just gotta trust your teammates, and you also just need to not panic, because as soon as you panic, you die, and then the whole situation gets even worse. Okay, we just won't use the Goliath. We'll just go up here. It's fine. He'll follow me up here once we start pulling. Gonna put the boss on top of these harvesters here. Use Celestial Brew. Leg sweep those drained fluids. Gonna be a very nasty breath. We'll dispel somebody. Gonna help kill these worms. Unfortunate knockback. Bring a piece this worm away. Can't ring a piece these guys because I had to use it. And paralysis to interrupt that harvester in the back. And then as this harvester is looking to die, we will go ahead and move the boss now. And we'll just dispel somebody. The idea is we just always dispel whenever that breath goes out. And I'll kind of just keep the boss stacked here by the worms. Alright, easy first boss. Alright, and then for this pull, we are going to CC the mage with paralysis as I walk in. And then we will just move all of these guys over. This is going to be awkward. So next time what I need to do there to make that pull a little easier is I can use like Ring of Peace to knock the mage away from the necromancer so I can run in and interrupt. Because the necromancer just starts casting right away. I asked the Shaman of Bloodlust because we didn't lust the first pull. And we also didn't lust the boss. Hopefully we use it here. This is the real struggle of +2 keys, honestly. Is getting people to press any button whatsoever. That's alright. We'll deal with it. Gonna use our orb here. Looks like we're still not lusting, so it looks like it's just not something that's gonna happen, but that's okay. Yeah, that pull was incredibly easy on a +2. Oh, the lust! Let's go! Alright, we just utilize it and we start pulling into here. We're going to avoid that patrol, I think, because we're going to be way over on percentage already. I didn't really think about that. We're not going to be able to do any like skips or anything because we don't have access to the relics. And we don't have invis spots, so... Oh. That was painful. I stood in that shadow well just a tiny bit too long. That one... And then we'll kind of wait for this patrol to go by again, and then we'll move into the next pack. Hopefully they stay close to the wall here and don't pull anything. Pull over here. Gonna make sure I put my chi burst into the wall so that I don't pull stuff over there. I'm going to try to move this way to kind of like usher my group in this direction so that they don't pull that pat like that. Now we get our ranged DPS to kind of move out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and CC one of the mages. I'll also Ring of Peace it away to try to get it as far away as possible. And then we're just going to bring the boss on top of this crossbowman. I'm going to ignore that mage that's out there. They'll just kill it. I'll taunt this warrior back in. Generally on this boss, what you want to do as a tank is just CC the mages, obviously, but if you can't, either way, interrupt the mages, and then you bring the boss on top of the crossbowman, because the crossbowman is the only mob that spawns that will not move. Like, he just refuses to move because he auto-attacks with range. So if you just bring the boss and all the adds on top of the crossbowman, it's going to help you a lot. So like right here, we're literally just going to look for the crossbowman. He's not over here, he's over this way, so we literally just walk on the crossbowman, and then if and when that mage gets interrupted in like a hierarchy, for instance, it would be a lot easier to just bring the mage into the crossbowman rather than the other way around. So the crossbowman should be where you are defaulting your attention as a tank. Okay, so I think for this pull, I have paralysis back up, so what I'm going to do is paralysis this collector way over here. And then I'm going to bring these mobs into this pack, and then I'm going to orb it all. So we'll go ahead and orb. I'm trying to stand in a way that'll interrupt the collector with the orb. Now we'll pop these out. I started with Dampen Harm. I don't have Fortify Brew up yet, so that's when I pop my other guy. Oh, I didn't get that interrupt off. That's unfortunate. Touch of Death. Now we'll press Fort Brew. We'll block that cleaver from hitting anybody. Taunt this crafter. And we still have our paralysis up over there. So now we'll pull this crafter and creation. and it's something that I definitely don't understand yet, but I'm pretty sure with Nizao, you're supposed to, or whatever his name is, your Ox, I think they call him Angry Dave, so we'll try to start referencing him as such. So I think you just want to use Angry Dave as much as possible. Like, you literally just press it on cooldown, because it actually does a lot of your overall damage, and it's also just a solid defensive. And I think the reason you use it on cooldown as much as possible is because there's either a conduit that you run, I think I'm running it right now, where it reduces the cooldown of him. Abilities that grant shuffle reduce the cooldown of the Blackhawks by 0.5 seconds. Yeah. So it basically, you have a conduit that reduces his cooldown by a lot, so you'll see his cooldown just constantly ticking down. And from what I understand, you can get his cooldown like as low as pretty much a minute. So it's like every single minute you get to press your Ox. So it's just one of those buttons where it's like you might as well just press it as much as possible so that you get as many cast off as you can. And he also like eats some of your stagger and stuff, so he's just generally an all-around really good cooldown to just have as like a sustaining cooldown. Oh man, we missed. Or we didn't miss, but the warrior stood in the way and got hit by the hook. Alright. Come on. Come on. No. Dude, this warrior. Bro, he's still gonna stand in the way. Okay, he's moving. Yes. We've done it. I'm throwing my spear. Oh, it looks like we are also throwing all of our other weapons. We actually just threw like 2 spears and 2 hammers. Aw, it hit the other creation. That's sad. Shaman, run! Okay. Oh man. Oh, get him out of the way. There we go. Nice. Oh boy, this is gonna start hurting. To death. I think before I touch of death, I'm supposed to try to fortifying brew a lot of the time because it increases my max HP by actually quite a lot. And I think touch of death is based off your max HP, if I'm not mistaken. There's the lust. Let's go.
None can escape the storm. Such a
Oh, 2 people dead to that. Right. I have a B-res though, so this can get problematic very fast. Okay, we do have a B-res. Never mind, we have the Resto Druid. Thankfully. Alright, and that looks like the key. That was not too bad. +3 it. Now we get a +5 to work on. Spires Key. And we got an upgraded conduit. That's good. Got some cosmic flux. Say GG's. Gonna run in. I'm gonna Ring of Peace and Paralysis that guy out. Hopefully he stays out. Pulling this Goliath. I'll pop my Fort Brew. Pop my Kyrian ability. Arcane Torrent that weapon off. Go ahead and leg sweep. I'm trying to find the weapon on the floor, but I do not see it at all. Wonder if someone else picked it. Yeah, it definitely looks like the... Maybe he's just owning, I don't know. That's actually wild. He did so much damage. I think the Death Knight's only like 230 eye level too. Yeah, look at this guy. 238 eye level with no sockets or enchants. This guy's blasting. I'm gonna just try to follow the bird as closely as I can and almost get ahead of the bird when he walks away. I like roll ahead of him, and that's so that I get the boss back in position to be on top of the bird for as long as possible. Because the longer the bosses are stacked up, the more damage our group's gonna do. Especially because we have like Frost Mage. Frost Mage does a lot of leave damage, so if the targets stay together. I dropped that spear in a very, very bad spot, but Didn't notice in time that it was on me. Now, because the boss is back down, this is where I need to focus on my own HP and make sure that I'm nice and healthy, so I'm going to dampen harm for this next strike that's going to hit me. And then I'm kind of just using Expel Harm, and I'm using Purifying Brew as much as I possibly can when the boss is down, because that's when I'm taking the most amount of damage. And then when this is happening, when the boss is up above, like in the air flying around, we literally have nothing to worry about as a tank. We take absolutely 0 damage. So I can just purely focus on like my damage rotation essentially, which is just keeping Keg Smash on cooldown and spending my energy on Tiger Palm. Gonna run over here. And I'm gonna mark the floor here, and I'm gonna say LOS on X. Go stand over there. Because it's better to be patient and talk through with our group and like tell them and instruct them what they should, like what we want them to be doing, rather than us, like for instance, what I've seen in other pug groups and even in hierarchies is the tank will just pull this back and then get mad if people aren't standing on this spot. Like they just kind of expect the group to just like listen to, like not even listen to them, but literally just be like, okay, well, you should just know to do this. And that's not, we shouldn't go into keys expecting our group to know the strategies behind the dungeons, even if they've done them multiple times, even if we're doing a, you know, even up to like a +20, you shouldn't expect people to know exactly what you want to do as a tank, because every tank does some things differently, or some pulls differently, or some people just might not know the strategies. So it's best to just talk through and lose a little bit of time on the timer for the sake of like more consistency. I think is really important. Just gonna Refreshing Jadewind and pull all these tigers. Guess we should call them cats. Sounds better if they're called cats. I'm gonna just use my Kyrian ability here. Kind of like a ramping defensive as far as I'm aware. Use Celestial Brew, get a nice Keg Smash on all these guys. Touch of Death, the Praetor. Leg Sweep. Yeah, this Death Knight is like hard carrying. That's crazy because he's the lowest eye level player in here, I think. The Hunter's 250, the Mage is 255, and the Death Knight is owning it up. I'm gonna pull this into this next pack. I'm gonna LOS like right on this corner right here, so that the Praetor from far away, like the previous pack, will come into the group. And now we have everything all nice and stacked up here. And then I can, oh, we're not gonna actually Chi Burst that group because it has a has an Inspired in the pack. I'm gonna Ring of Peace it so that it just stays away, because it looks like we're gonna accidentally pull when they get close. Yeah, they're gonna pull. That's okay. We just paralysis the Inspired mob and then we're all good. And then once the Goliaths are dead, I'm totally fine with just pulling this in. It's fine if the Ether Divers can't be interrupted. I can just get dispelled, or worst case is I just press a defensive if I'm not getting dispelled and the Ether Divers get their cast off. Leg Sweep here. Try to kind of pull everything back. We'll put the Praetor right there. Ring of Peace, and then this mob's gonna come in. Now nothing's interruptible, so I'm gonna throw my spear here in a second. Waiting till the Goliath is done recharging, and then we'll throw the spear. Use Fort Brew here. Just gonna start running to the boss and they'll finish the Praetor off.
This is where you meet your end.
Let's start with the boss right here on this side of the circle, and then we'll move to the other side of the circle after 2 dashes.
My celerity is second to none.
I'm gonna try my best. Okay, I'm doing very bad at this. I'm gonna try to keep the boss like as close as possible to this previous one, so that when he jumps away, they're almost stacked on top of each other. And then now we can move the boss right over here to this side of the circle.
Witness radiance.
Dodge the frontal.
From the shadows, I witness your demise. My celerity is second to none. Witness radiance.
Keep the boss right here on top of the previous one. In Pugs, this probably won't be the most ideal strategy, so I'll probably change up how I do this a little bit once we get into higher keys. But for now, this is just what I'm used to doing. And we're honestly just going to keep the boss here. I'm not even going to move because it's going to die anyways. There we go. Just paralysis and ring of peace him away so that we don't aggro him, but people do have to jump up here. So what I'm going to do is mark the ground and go like that, just to kind of show like, hey, stand on X and then jump onto green. And then I'll put some markers down like this to show like, hey, we're going to run this way, follow the markers. And then I'm going to run out here. And I'm also going to pull this other side because we're going to be a little bit crazy. Oh, it looks like we lost aggro on everything. This is not good, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I'm going to get aggro on all this stuff. And then I'm going to step back here to LOS all these guys. And then now we'll step back out. We'll leg sweep on a higher key again. This is another thing that definitely would not work, but because we're in a lower key, we can kind of just brute force it, which I'm fine with doing for now until we kind of optimize later on. Gonna face the boss the other way, away from the group, and make him stomp on me, which you make the boss stomp on you by just standing in his hitbox. You can see this red circle around the boss. If you're standing inside of it, he will stomp you as much as possible, which is just whenever the ability basically cools down. Here we can make him stomp on us again. I'm going to get some distance first from the group so that they don't get hit by the stomp. Oh, what did we pull? Why did we pull all this? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, not like this. Yeah, there's no way we're surviving that. I think that's our 3 chests right there, but that's unlucky. Yeah, I'm just gonna die. I'll run down here. We'll just keep an eye as people run by just to make sure nothing weird's happening. That's the only other thing I can think of is this paralysis I put down. Someone walked by and aggroed him and got in combat with him. And then once the paralysis broke, he ran to us. And then it aggroed like all of this stuff, which actually makes total sense because there was like 5 mobs. So that would be this middle pack and him right there. So it looks like that's that may have been what happened. I'm honestly gonna wait a second just to make sure. And just wait till my paralysis falls off, even though we're kind of wasting time. Just to see if he aggro's over here. Okay, he does not. We're all good. Let's go. Again, patience is a virtue in tanking. It's really beneficial to just be willing to take the extra time and lose some time off the timer for the sake of consistency and just being, you know, like even just something as simple as how I looked back and made sure everybody made it through without aggroing stuff. Just something like that. Like, a lot of tanks will be too impatient to even let that happen, and what they'll do is they'll just run through where they are supposed to go, like if they're doing a skip or something, and then they won't even look behind them, and then they'll just get upset if, you know, the mobs come barreling through because someone messed up the skip. And it's like, all you can, like, you can't change whether the person is going to mess up or not, but you can help how, you know, their mistake affects the outcome of the key. by just being a little bit more patient. That way you're prepared to deal with it if the mistake happens. If the mistake doesn't happen, that's great. Okay, if they're gonna stand in the way, I'll just let them soak it. I don't really care. If they want to eat the orbs, go for it. Sure, why not? Let's go for it. We have nothing to lose. Oh, this might be a lot more difficult than what I was expecting it to be. They have to also all die very evenly, which is kind of the unfortunate part. I'm gonna go ahead and spear here. I'm gonna yell in all caps to kill evenly. I don't have Touch of Death either. If I had Touch of Death here, that would actually be so perfect. Like, that would be exactly what we need to make this pull happen. It looks like we're actually doing a pretty good job of keeping them relatively even, though. So, this may be doable. But if it's not, and one of them resets to full HP, we actually just die because we have this debuff rolling on us. Come on, guys. We can do this. You guys got this. You guys are going to be the sickest group in the world if you do this. Come on. Come on. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. We did it. Holy moly. That was sick. Need a little bit more damage on the boss and get a Breath of Fire on her before she leaves. And then I'll put my Transcendence down on the ground. We'll pick up an orb. We'll teleport back. And then we can pick up another orb. Oh, the mage beat us to it. And then I'm just going to sit here and spam the spear until we pick it up. Mage, 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 mage. Thank you. Throw the spear instantly. You never miss anymore. So they did a hotfix a while back. Now it's like impossible to miss, even if you actually miss. It just doesn't anymore. Transcendence down again, and then run and grab this one. No, let me get it.
Mortals, take up my spear.
Damn the spear. Here we go.
The path must be abandoned.
Ooh, we got the DOS. Ooh, I just remembered that in the auction house, I can buy jewelry pieces that are pretty decent eye level and stuff. So I'm going to do that. We're going to buy like this, we'll buy this crit necklace because I'm mostly just wanting to increase my damage. And I think crit is technically a slightly better stat than versatility. Take the priest healer that applied first. And we are ready for DOS. And go right in and just pop defensives. We pop our Ox and then our Fort Brew. And then once our Fort Brew is expired, I'm probably gonna honestly try to save my other defensives, and I'll just rely on kiting if I have to. Which it looks like we are, so we're gonna start kiting. I'm gonna put down a Transcendence right here. And we can kind of fight this guy if he's alone. We don't really need to worry about kiting him if it's just him by himself. We just need to kite him when he's raging. So I can kind of walk over this way, and then when he rages, I can just teleport to my Transcendence that we put down earlier. So here's the rage. I have Celestial Brew up, so I can kind of just face tank this for a minute. And there we go. And we'll mount up, we'll run up here.
Give 'em to your boss man now, or you're gonna be sorry. Real sorry.
So you can be sending them to the Moor? No, no, no. Them is my people, Mazala. No way I go give them up.
You always be soft one Sunday. Weak.
And paralysis this guy.
Later you're gonna break.
I did not hit the Death Speaker, that's not good. Oh boy. That is not good. That's a very bad Erupting Darkness. I'm so sad. Okay, we're making it work. We have Touch of Death. Just need to get the spirit low enough. And press Dampen Harm. Damn, that sucks. I think the spirit still dies though. It was low HP. Yeah, it just died. That's recoverable. That's okay. They're staying alive for a second. I don't know if they're going to live the entire time, but they might. That was just my bad on that part. I didn't handle that correctly. We needed to CC the, like, I paralysis the guy, but then he was in range of the Death Speaker still, so he made him uninterruptible. What I needed to do next time is, like, Ring of Peace first and then paralysis. Or Ring of Peace, interrupt, and then paralysis, like, something like that. And I also needed to press Dampen Harm, like, as we went into the pull, not after the fact, because I already built too much stagger and was dying. I'm going to have to kite here, because I'm going to die. I'm just going to run away, and then just sit here and kind of spam heal myself. And then the healer's back and stuff, so we should be good now. Purge that debuff off. Press our Ox. Shadow cores are going to hurt a lot. Touch of Death. There we go. We recovered, so that wasn't too bad. Still turned out fine. We can improve on that, though, for sure. Now we just know what to do next time for Inspiring. Inspiring just makes everything so awkward, honestly, as a tank. You have to, like, really think about each pull differently, because there's just, like, new and unique ways that you have to deal with stuff, which is... It's interesting, but it's also very obnoxious, because it's only around once every, you know, once every 2 months or something you have to deal with Inspired, so it's kind of awkward. Okay, gonna kind of wait until everyone's here. Ask for a fort buff, and then we will run around and aggro stuff. Oh my gosh, I got nature locked. I don't have very many cooldowns here, so I just do need to be aware of that. But that's just the way Brewmaster is. I'm going to pull these guys now that I'm kind of comfortable. I have Fort Brew coming up, so I'll probably just press it right away, honestly. Yeah, we're just going to press it right away. Just spamming Purifying Brew every time it comes up. Because I don't know exactly how to min-max Purifying Brew right now, so my understanding is you just press it as often as possible to clear stagger. You don't have to really think too much on when it clears stagger or how much stagger it's clearing. As long as it's just being used, then it's helping, I think, is the general idea. Press Celestial Brew before we lose our stacks. And then we'll aggro this patrol and this stuff right here, and this will be a good enough pull to do for now. And I'll try to target the Elderhorn here. I'm going to press Dampen Harm, just to have a defensive rolling for this portion. Heal myself with a Expel Harm. Burst through everything. I'm trying to stay in melee just to do damage still. And if I start kiting, the Inspired's going to kind of get out of control anyways. So I'm trying to wait until the Inspired's dead before I start kiting or doing anything. We have another Celestial Brew, so we are totally fine. And then we have our Ox up, but I'm going to wait to press it until we do this pull. We're going to gather everything here. Grab this stuff over here, run around. I get stuck and just wasted 2 roll charges, so I'm incredibly depressed. Oh, we already earned. That's, well, I mean, I did tell him to earn, so I kind of asked for it, I guess. We press Ox here. Oh man, that earn has actually made this so awkward. We're gonna leg sweep here. I'm gonna spinning crane kick to try to grab aggro on as much stuff as I can. Celestial Brew. We'll throw a Chi Burst in there. Want the Elderhorn in. Egg Smash as much as possible. Ring of Peace to kind of keep it at bay for a second while we recover. And I'm trying to stay close enough to Breath of Fire stuff, which it looks like I was successful in doing that. We have Celestial Brew back up, so now we can kind of tank in melee for a moment. We do have a lot of stacks of the bird debuff though, so we just need to be careful. Put to death that guy. Heal ourselves. Alright, we recovered pretty well on that pull also. We're not going to have so we're probably going to have to do the Mechagon Wing, so I'm not going to pull anymore I think I've already overpulled at this point in this dungeon. So we'll just, okay, I guess we're just jumping on down and grabbing everything. Speaking of too much percentage. That's okay. I do have Dampen Harm up here. Oh my word, you hurt. I'm gonna just Dampen Harm now, I guess. I still have stacks of the bird debuff, that's why, and the Matriarch just slaps. Yeah, I just need to let these stacks reset, I think. Well, I guess there's no more birds that we're pulling, so we're okay now. Now we're totally fine. We do have another Celestial Brew up, so I'm going to run down here and aggro everything. Chi Burst to aggro that stuff that's far away. We'll kind of just Celestial Brew as it all gets in. Target the Elder Horn. I'm spinning Crane Kick here to do some damage. Refreshing Jade Wind. Use our Ox on cooldown. Our, whatever it's called, the Nectar Lord ability. There we go. Alright, heading back down the hill again. Our damage is looking great. 5.2k overall. Obviously, it's in like at the other side in Ardenweald, so we're kind of padding, but still like very good damage, honestly, for being this low eye level. Alright, we're pulling boss. We're still making really good time. We don't even have Lust available yet, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it's okay at the same time.
Away with you. Hold this a moment.
Put my Transcendence down here for when I jump up in the air with the portals. I can just Transcendence back immediately. Fun fact about this boss is when you get sent up, you're going to see it here in a second. Oh, we're just randomly getting sent up. Okay. Well, I'm still going to go up. So when you go up, I can... Do you see I teleported back down instantly, but I didn't take damage from the AoE? So when you take a portal, you get like an immune... An invisible buff that makes you immune to the damage of the AoE explosion that the boss does. So you can actually leave early and just come down immediately. So if you have any abilities that let you come down right away, you can just use them. So I'll show it again one more time. Or actually, I can't transcend, so it doesn't... I'm not going to be able to do it anyways. I'm going to Fort Brew here. And just... I'm just going to go up since nobody else is. Help off heal a bit here. Throw a Vivify or two out. Come on, Hunter, you can make it. I'll Dampen Harm here as I take the lightning. Yikes, this is rough. Not much we can do in this case. This is kind of just a brute force the boss before it kills us kind of thing. Lust would definitely be helpful here, but... yeah, we're gonna die.
Our transaction.
That's okay. We just go again. We still have plenty of time. That's just a case of literally no one doing the mechanics, so it's kind of just unfortunate. That's the problem with keys that are like below 15s even, is you just get... you're just bound to get groups who just like literally don't know what the boss does, and that's okay. The best thing you can do is either explain it to them, or like in this case, I would either explain it to them and like ask them if they need help with anything. But I think we're fine to just go again, and this time we have Lust, so I think the boss will die. So we're just going to run all the way back down and then wait for everybody, and then we'll Lust on this boss, and it should fall over pretty easily. Even if we mess things up again with Lust, it should just burn like significantly faster. Even there, we wiped at 23% of the boss's HP remaining. While people are running down, I will mention, so I'll say like, take the portals on the floor when you have the bomb. or when the boss is channeling the explosion ability. I don't know what it's called, so I can't be too helpful there. Lust, please, mage.
You will pay dearly for this.
There we go.
This should
I'm really just gonna focus on trying to do as much damage as I can here. We'll use our Ox,
where to put you.
using Purify a lot.
Hold this a moment. This should be entertaining. Away with you.
Put our Transcendence down, and now I'll show that example again. Oh man, this is rough.
My
I'm gonna go up right away, and I'm literally just gonna instantly Transcendence back down. Yikes, we just lost 2 people and have no BRS.
I will step lightly.
Oh no!
Now, where to put you? Hold this a moment.
I don't think we can do this as a group of 3. We're definitely gonna bleed out way before then.
I would step
Yeah.
lightly if I were you. Away with you. These are more than mere trinkets.
Oh, this is so rough.
Have you ever wished you could fly? Away with you.
I'm just gonna stand and stuff and let the boss hit me.
Hold this a moment. A pitiful display. This concludes our transaction.
I'm just gonna tell them that we're gonna skip this boss for now and go clear trash. We need a morale booster. We'll just come back to Ardenweald and fight that boss later. Once our lust is back up, we'll like go do Mill House and then we can or the Mana Storms and then come over here. Looks like they're not releasing, so we'll just kill this small group of raptors while we wait for them to do something. They go offline or something? No? This guy just said, "I'm going to the urinary. Resurrect me, please." This is quite the experience I've gotten myself into, I must say. All gonna be worth getting the trinket at the end though, so we're okay. What about our hunter friend? Is he AFK? Maybe? Pull these warlords. Just gonna face tank these with Celestial Brew. And Fort Brew. We're just gonna kind of keep rotating things. I'll dampen harm for this next set of rages. Celestial Brew again. Alright, here. Gonna just pull this drill because we're definitely not gonna try to skip it. Seems way too risky. So I'm okay with just killing it. We have time to waste anyway since the warrior isn't back yet. Also, what I can do with this drill is pull this guy right here. Kind of put the drill in an awkward position because I was a little too late on it. But you can pull this headless client with this drill, and if we don't face tank the drill, it becomes really nice because what you can do is tank the drill like right here, and then whenever we LOS the drill, you can pull the headless client like up this way, and then people like the ranged DPS can stand right here and still hit the headless client while LOSing the drill. So you basically never have like downtime in your DPS, which is really, really nice. That's kind of like the old school pull where when people were regularly doing the drill, but I know in pugs, like a lot of people probably do this wing and do the have to kill the drills, so that's one thing you can do. You can do another similar thing coming up with this next drill, which I'll show you guys. I'm just gonna dampen harm here because this shit hurts a lot. We have a Celestial Brew coming up that we'll use right away. Death, the dog. And then here, for instance, we grab this drill. We're going to keep it right here so that people can LOS it properly. And then what we're going to do is while it casts its Haywire, I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to wait a second until the Haywire is pretty much done. And then I'm going to Ring of Peace these volatile memories so that they don't kill us. And then I'm going to pull that lubricator in. And what's going to happen here is we keep the drill right here. And then same exact thing, whenever we have to LOS this drill. So say we have to LOS this drill right here. We can walk in like this, and now everybody can hit the lubricator from back here, even melee, while we wait for, you know, the drill to finish its cast. So it just, again, gives us a lot of efficiency with like our damage and stuff like that. We just have to be aware of the interrupts. So the next lubricator cast, I will probably leg sweep. There's our leg sweep, and then the next one I will interrupt regularly. There's our regular interrupts, and then this one I will Ring of Peace. And then I don't have anything, so there we go, nice. Priest got it. Unfortunately, paralysis does not work on these guys. Don't know. Okay, I do have my interrupts back up. Oh, we just had people leave the group, so I think that is unfortunately going to be it. We're gonna have to rerun the key, but that's alright. Alright, we're here for round 2. And then remember, we learned our lesson, so it's going to be, we're going to aggro this stuff in first, right here. And then we're going to Ring of Peace, Paralysis the Cultist, and then kick the Death Speaker. And now look how clean that was. And it looks like the Cultist got hit, but that's okay. Now we just earn this stuff. Oh, remember the other lesson we learned was to press our defensive before we start dying? Yeah, we didn't do that. It's okay, though. There's our brew here. Now we have, like, no CDs, so I'm kind of scared, but it looks like everything's dying pretty quick. Touch of Death, Raging Spirit. Cool. So the only mistake we made there was just not using our defensive as we started the pull. Again, we waited until we were already in a really bad spot, and then we pressed stuff. We don't want to do that. Celestial Brew here, and our Ox. Don't have too much else to work with, so we kind of just have to hope it dies pretty quick, and just keep pressing Purify on cooldown. Yeah, dying pretty quick. This Red Paladin is owning. Okay. And then we will run down here and aggro some more stuff. And just kind of stand here until the patrol of birds comes over here. Save my Keg Smash for when they walk in. And now we Keg Smash, Breath of Fire, getting Crane Kick a few times. Hit that one that's coming in late. Celestial Brew, Use our Necrolord ability. And then ideally I save Dampen Harm here, but I may just have to end up using it. We'll just kite. Yeah, we'll just kite instead and save Dampen Harm. So I'd like to have Dampen Harm for the urn pull here while we're kind of like gathering things. Now I will run around, grab some of this stuff. Again, we don't want to grab too much because of the we're not gonna skip stuff in Mechagon, so we don't have relics and invis pots. So we're just gonna not go overboard with the percentage. The urn, we're gonna piece some of this stuff so that it kind of groups up just slightly better. Right now it's kind of spread out, and I'm gonna lose aggro on a lot of this stuff. And then we'll dampen harm here. Key burst through all of it. Still pressing keg smash as much as we can. Celestial Bruise back up. Off this Blade Beak that we lost aggro on. And then we'll start hitting the Elder Horn to try to re-get aggro on it. There we go. Walk down here. Looks like we're about at the same percent as the last key that we were running, the +7. Kind of just run down here, grab everything, grab the Elder Horn, grab these Shimmer Moths, and then we'll Fort Brew here. Oh, Matriarch got pulled because of the little guy. That was my fault for not dealing with the small guy first. Use our Ox here to try to grab aggro on stuff again. Egg Smash, Breath of Fire, bam. Is an inspired mob here, so I'm just tanking it all, because if I kite, it's just going to chase me anyways. There we go. This Ret Paladin is insane. I don't understand. He is really, okay, he is very high eye level with the 4-piece and stuff, but done like no keys at all, and just slamming these low keys. I wonder why. That's so odd. Alright. Well, we're making much better time than we did on the +7. Like, insanely better. We're here so much faster than we were before. I think I did pull a little bit less, but it's still pretty crazy. And put my Transcendence down here.
This should be entertaining. Now, where to put you?
Go up, immediately teleport back down, and now we'll be immune to that explosion. I went up too soon.
This should be entertaining.
I was not immune to that one.
Away with you.
I think I just went up a little bit too fast. I think when you go up, you have like a 3-second invisible buff that grants you immunity to the damage. We'll have to playtest it more now, because now everything I've been led to believe was a lie, and I've lied to you guys as well. You can't instantly come back down, unless I mess something up. Or maybe it's because I got hit by the lightning. I can't teleport back down, so we'll just go up. That was very odd. I wonder why that happened. I did get hit by the lightning right as I came back down, so I wonder if that somehow interrupted it. Like the immunity. I'm not going to be able to test it now either, because the boss is dead. Oh well, we'll mess around with it more when we do another DOS key. Very interesting, because I've definitely seen it work that way before, because I like mages and stuff that I play with, they'll go up in the air and then immediately just blink back down and start DPSing the boss, and they don't get hit by the explosion. So it must have some interaction with the lightning debuff that I got as I like teleported back down. It must have interrupted it somehow. Maybe if you guys know, you can just leave a comment down below and let me know. I am genuinely curious exactly how it works, if anyone knows.
Me want them souls, Bonsandy. Me want Rastakhan and all the others on the line. It ain't wise to be holding out on Wazala.
You're gone and forgot what it means to be a Loa. You bond with the people. The power you share.
The only power that counts be dead. And dead
Pull all of this stuff right here. Trying to hold aggro. I'm also going to pull this Enraged Spirit in because we're just absolutely blasting. We're just doing so much damage. It's so gross. So we're just taking the Enraged Spirit too. I'm going to dispel the Paladin. I probably should have dispelled myself since he can dispel himself as well. And I'll just Dampen Harm here. Should have been used a little bit earlier, but that's okay. There we go. And I'll do the same thing I mentioned earlier, so I'll go and pull this Headless Client, and then I'll pull the Drill into the corner here. And then when we LOS the Drill, we can still hit the Headless Client. Looks like they're going to just tank it, which is totally fine. I'm fine with that. Kick the Headless Client so it doesn't one-shot anybody. Want the Drill back. And there we go. Move it to the next pull. Just gonna pull all of this stuff with the Drill. I'll Fort Brew here since I'm LOSing the healer. I'll just kind of LOS here and kill all this stuff. The Drill back in a good position. Use Celestial Brew on myself since I'm LOSing the healer again. And then with this Haywire, I'll run over here and grab this Lubricator. I'll interrupt its first cast. Probably Leg Sweep the next cast. I do have Engineering here, so we'll go ahead and pull all that. Lubricator's dead, so I'm just going to pull these next two Lubricators. Again, we have a pre-made, so I'm expecting that they're going to kind of communicate when they're going to interrupt and whatnot. I will interrupt the X marker one next. And then I'm going to Leg Sweep the next cast, so here's Leg Sweep. And then I can... Oh, I did not ring a piece in time. I can piece that. And then kick. And we'll Touch of Death. And we'll pull this stuff. Looks like somebody else pulled it for us for some reason. Okay. I'm just getting a little too confident how I'm pulling. I thought I was getting trolled for a second. That was so weird.
What have we here? That dusty old Loa has sent debt collectors already? But I haven't had his mojo long enough to create my masterpiece.
Wait, you made a deal with Moarsoulz-Tichondrius too? I knew you took shortcuts in your...
I'm just gonna pull Mana Storm. We're gonna Lust on pull, and that's just because they might save it, but okay, there we go. I think it's just because like these bosses are gonna melt so fast anyways that it doesn't really matter if we Lust on pull.
Power beyond your comprehension.
I think we will still be totally fine even without Lust to burn Maleficent. Could be wrong though, so we will see. If we made the wrong choice, then we are definitely in trouble, but I think we will be alright.
I'd rather give up the mojo than lose her.
I'm gonna just Dampen Harm here.
This one will drive you nuts.
Basically just really want to use cooldowns for every set of Buzzsaw.
This one will drive you nuts.
Try to get these bombs by spam clicking. And when you don't have a defensive, that's when you should try to use other smaller things like and spam Purifying Brews, or like use your Expel Harm at the end, like stuff like that. Just something to kind of stabilize yourself a little bit. Yeah, see, we're totally fine on the burn damage. We're good.
You're the best, Billy.
Oh, I almost made it.
Fight again. For a while, at least.
Oh, sweetie! You do care!
Alright, we are flying. This is a 3-chester for sure. We're gonna have a +9 after this.
Be forgetting who made you a lower one Sunday. Now give me them.
I think we're actually making pretty good percentage. I think we're a little bit over, but
That
that's
was
fine.
long ago, but me remember.
I don't know the percentage you're supposed to be at if you're clearing all of Mechagon. I'm not used to it, so...
All them sacrifices, all that blood, how they were gonna.
Me don't need worshippers. The jailer gonna give me all the power.
Just gonna pull all this stuff. Don't really care about the Inspired. It's fine. I have Fort Brew, so we'll be alright. Just gonna pull this Priest and Ring of Peace. Hopefully that gets them... Yeah, it did not get him far enough away from the Son of Hakar, but that's okay. Gonna kind of pull all this stuff in. Guy's gonna not get interrupted either. First one was definitely because he was in range, but that one was not in range of the High Priest, so that one just wasn't getting killed or interrupted. It's okay though. It is a low enough key, so they really don't do too much. They're just kind of annoying. Gonna interrupt this Priest when I have my interrupt available. Boy, I'm gonna die. Okay. Celestial Brew. Run into this. And we have them earn. Hopefully they do it in time. There we go. And then we just Ring of Peace the High Priest in. And focus the High Priest. Use our Ox. I do have to be aware here because when all this stuff breaks, I don't have really any defensives rolling. So I'm probably going to start taking a lot of damage here. I'll save this Purify just a little bit. Play it. Spell that. Go into the next pull. Again, not going to worry about the Inspired because of the key level. I'm going to use my Celestial Brew. Having Purify Brew where I can. Interrupt that one. Can't interrupt this other one, the Hexer, but that's okay. Steal the Deathwalker. Now we're on Hakar.
Power is mine. I will live again. Face the wrath of the Soul Slayer.
Main thing here on Hakar is you want to have some kind of defensive or mitigation for each piercing barb. You're not going to have it available for every single one of them, but it's just for the ones that seem most dangerous. And then also we want to purify right after every piercing barb. That's when we're going to have the highest level of stagger. So like here, for instance, I don't really have anything, so I should use Dampen Harm. I Dampen Harm just in time. I purify. And then for this next one, I can... I still have Dampen Harm. It looks like it just ran out, so... Next time I would just use Celestial Brew, but I'm going to hold that for this next one. Then we'll Celestial Brew, Touch of Death. And that's the general idea with the car, as far as I know, for tanks, is just make sure that you know which piercing barbs are going to be lethal to you, and you press mitigation for those ones, which essentially should be the ones that are overlapping with other stuff happening, or like, you know, just the fight being hectic in general. But just as a general rule, use some kind of mitigation, or try to rotate mitigations for each piercing barb. That's what's going to hurt the most.
These little friends of yours think they're gonna help you up one someday. What chance you'll be having against me? It be Moarzala who brought Helia to the jailer's side. Struck a deal for all
Just gonna
Odin's
pull right away once the mage is here.
Banshee.
And now for this boss, what you want to be doing as a tank is using a defensive for every Soul Crusher, which is right there. I just used Celestial Brew for the first one. Just using Ox for damage, not going to worry too much about it as a defensive. And then after this Master of Death cast, he's going to do another, oh boy, he's going to do another Soul Crusher right away. You can see it coming up right now in 3 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and next time I would normally Fort Brew that, but I kind of lost my focus there as I was talking. And then we have another Soul Crusher coming up, so now we rotate again with Celestial Brew on this one. And I'm just going to press my Fort Brew just because I'm taking a lot of like stagger damage and just stuff in general, because other things are happening in the fight. And then we have this Soul Crusher coming up after this. He'll Soul Crusher into the intermission. So what we do here is we will use Dampen Harm, because I don't have Celestial Brew up yet. And now we're going to head over to these ads. I don't have Touch of Death. If you have Touch of Death, you can literally, depending on the key level, you can literally just Touch of Death these instantly from full HP, so it's actually really nice. But we do not have our Touch of Death, so that's okay.
Don't you be counting me out yet, old Loa.
At least we get a Touch of Death on the boss here. There we go. And now we get the trinket for sure. I'm ready. This is gonna be the trinket. No, not gloves. Not gloves. Not gloves. The first piece of loot is the same as the legendary. Oh man. Do I have to re-roll my legendary now already? I already bought a 291 version in that slot. That's so obnoxious. Oh well. Pretty good run. What key did we get? A 9 halls? Alright. Then, you know what time it is. It's halls time.
That be some big talk one Sunday, but you be nothing before the jailer.
You better watch your tongue, little thing.